Oh man, I am getting really sick of all this house talk, but here's some more house talk. Day 3 of House Hunt was a super serious bust again. So, the last that you guys heard, we had an accepted offer on a home, and we were driving back out to the area to check out a few more options that hit the market that were a little more feasible for our family and what we were looking for. Well, we looked at those houses and they were definitely good options, but wasn't quite feeling them. Um, we ended up driving past a home that had a for sale sign on it that I had totally disregarded on Zillow. And the one thing that I have learned about Zillow is that it's totally misleading. Like, you cannot make your decisions based off of the pictures on Zillow because I have looked at so many houses and, like, either there's a funky layout that's not shown or it's in a lot worse condition than what it looks like. Maybe it's in a bad neighborhood. There's just so many things. The smell, like if there's cats or animals or smoking, there are so many things that you just cannot tell, and it's really unfortunate because sometimes it feels like a waste of time looking at some of these houses. But anyways, so I had totally disregarded this house on Zillow because of the size, and they hadn't had any pictures on it before, and they had a couple pictures, and we drove past it, and it looked bigger in person than what I had imagined in my mind. So I talked to my realtor, and we were able to get a hold of the owner and schedule a showing for the same day. And so went and checked it out. It's a smaller home and it had been remodeled, but it was on a lot and it was just outside. It was actually a part of town, but it felt country because it came with a little bit of land and really good options as far as putting a shop in the back for my woodworking stuff and being able to add on to it later. So it was significantly below our budget, which all the better. So ultimately, I decided that's what I want to do. I want to do that. It's smarter financially. Plus, I can like design my own house and build onto it, and it'll be awesome. And my son can have his chickens in the backyard. So I started getting really excited. However, we were still under contract on another home, and I will say that there were a few times when I had seriously doubted and questioned whether I really wanted that house. And between those feelings and the inspection report, which came back, and there were a few questionable things about it that um, kind of had me questioning whether it was the right choice or not. Between all of that, just decided I don't want to buy a house if I'm not going to feel really good about it. And I am willing to wait a little bit longer, even if it's a little inconvenient. So, decided to go ahead and get out of that contract. And instead, we decided to put an offer on this house. This house had been on the market for like 90 days, which is super long in the market right now because the market is so hot. Houses are not lasting very long. So I'm like, oh, we're golden. So we canceled the contract with the house that we had made an offer on, put an offer on this house, and the next day they got back to us and said that they had received another offer from somebody else like the night before. And so, anyways, we didn't get that house either, which was super disappointing for like 10 seconds. And then I'm like, you know what? It's not meant to be. Like, clearly there's a plan somewhere out there of some sorts of a house just waiting for us, and we'll get there when we get there. So, I mean, it was disappointing, but we are back to square one again with no house. I am getting really exhausted of this whole process, and I'm excited to just get settled, be near my husband and his work, and get my kids into school and just kind of get into a routine again. It's been really exhausting and frustrating, but I'm hanging in there, and all happens for a reason. So hopefully, that perfect house is still waiting.